What is outside the universe? It sounds like a simple question, almost obvious. Everything you know has an outside. A room has walls. A box has edges. Even the earth has space around it. So naturally, you assume the universe must have something beyond it too, something outside, something more. But the moment you try to picture it, something feels wrong. Where exactly would that have? If the universe is everything, every star, every galaxy, every bit of space, then what would be left for an outside to be made of? Space. But space is already part of the universe. So you can't place the universe inside space because space is inside the universe. That's where the confusion begins. Your brain is trying to apply everyday logic to something that doesn't follow everyday rules. You're used to objects existing inside other objects. A cup sits on a table. The table sits in a room. The room sits inside a building. Everything has context. Everything has a container. So naturally, you ask what contains the universe. But this question hides a dangerous assumption. It assumes that the universe behaves like an object. And what if it doesn't? What if the universe isn't something sitting inside a larger space, but is instead the very definition of space itself? Now the question starts to collapse, because if the universe is all of space, then asking what's outside it is like asking what's north of the North Pole. The words sound meaningful, but the moment you analyze them, they stop making sense. There is no direction beyond the North Pole, and there may be no outside beyond the universe. Still, your intuition resists this idea. It feels incomplete, unsatisfying. Your mind wants to push further, to imagine something beyond the boundary, even if that boundary doesn't exist. You might picture the universe as a giant bubble floating in a vast emptiness, or a sphere expanding into some larger void. But every one of those images relies on something you're not supposed to use, an external space. You're sneaking in an outside, just to explain the outside. The question itself forces you into a contradiction. It asks you to imagine something beyond everything, using tools that only work inside everything. So maybe the real problem isn't the answer. Maybe the problem is the question. Because if your understanding of space comes entirely from your experience within the universe, then trying to imagine anything beyond it might be impossible by definition. And yet, what is outside the universe? It feels like there must be an answer. Something hidden just beyond the edge of everything we can see. Something waiting to be discovered. But what if there is no edge at all? What if the universe doesn't end the way you expect it to? Because once you start exploring how space actually behaves on the largest scales, you begin to realize something even more unsettling. The universe may not have an outside at all, and that idea leads to a much deeper question. If there's no edge, then where does it end? The limits of space. Where does the universe end? That last question feels unavoidable. If there's no clear outside, then the next logical step is to ask where the universe actually ends. There must be some boundary, right? Some edge where everything stops and something else begins. That's how your intuition works. Every space you've ever experienced has limits. But the universe doesn't behave like anything you've experienced. You might imagine traveling in a straight line forever, expecting to eventually reach the edge, a final boundary, a wall. Something that tells you this is it. But according to modern physics, that journey may never end, not because the universe is infinite in the way you imagine, but because the idea of an edge might not apply at all. This is where things start to feel deeply counterintuitive. The universe could be finite, meaning it has a limited size, and still have no boundary, no edge, no outer surface. That sounds impossible at first. But there's a simple way to begin understanding it. Think about the surface of the earth. It's finite. You can measure its size. You can travel across it. But no matter how far you go, you will never find an edge. There's no point where you suddenly fall off or reach the end of the surface. You just keep moving, eventually returning to where you started. Now imagine that idea extended into higher dimensions. Instead of a two-dimensional surface like Earth, picture a three-dimensional space that curves in on itself in a similar way. You could travel endlessly without ever encountering a boundary, not because there's more space beyond it, but because the space itself is curved. This is one of the possibilities physicists consider when describing the universe, and it leads to a strange realization. An edge is not required for something to have limits. This challenges one of your deepest assumptions, that something must end somewhere, that there must always be a beyond. But in a curved universe, beyond may not exist in the way you expect. This way of thinking was deeply influenced by ideas explored by Richard Feynman and other physicists who emphasized understanding concepts through simple reasoning rather than rigid intuition. The goal is not to force reality to match your expectations, but to reshape your expectations to match reality. And reality, in this case, refuses to give you a clear edge. But there's another layer to this. Even if the universe has no boundary, it is still expanding. Galaxies are moving away from each other. Space itself is stretching. This might make you think the universe is growing into something expanding into a larger space outside it. But that's not what's happening. The expansion is happening within the universe, not into anything else. Distances between objects increase, but there is no external space being filled. There is no container waiting outside. This is where intuition struggles again, because expansion usually means something is growing into empty space. A balloon expands into the air around it, but with the universe, the air around it doesn't exist. The analogy breaks down. Instead, every point in the universe moves away from every other point. There is no center of expansion, no outer shell pushing into something beyond, just space itself stretching everywhere at once. So when you ask where the universe ends, you're forced into a difficult position. It may not end anywhere, not because it goes on forever in a straight line, but because the concept of an ending, the structure of space itself, could eliminate the need for an edge entirely. And if that's true, then the idea of an outside becomes even more fragile. Because how can something have an outside if it doesn't have an edge? This is where your intuition begins to break down completely. You're no longer dealing with objects inside space. You're dealing with space itself. And once you realize that the original question starts to feel less like a mystery and more like a misunderstanding. The illusion of outside, a problem with our thinking by now. Something should feel off about the question itself. Not just difficult, misleading. You keep trying to imagine an outside, but every attempt quietly assumes the very thing you're trying to prove. You picture a boundary, then place something beyond it. But that only works if the universe behaves like an object space. And that's the mistake. Your brain is trained by everyday experience. You live inside rooms, cities, planets. Everything you know exists within something else. So your mind automatically builds a hierarchy. Small things inside bigger things, and those inside something bigger still. It feels natural to extend that pattern to the universe. What if the universe is not part of a larger container, but the container itself? This is where the idea of outside begins to collapse, because outside only makes sense if there is a boundary separating one region from another. Without a boundary, the concept has nothing to attach to. It becomes a word without a reference. To see why this is so difficult, imagine a two-dimensional being living on the surface of a sphere. For that being, the surface is its entire universe. It can move in any direction, measure distances, observe patterns, but it cannot step off the surface because there is no off within its reality. Now ask that being, what is outside your universe? It might try to imagine something beyond the surface. But any attempt would rely on concepts it doesn't actually have access to. It might picture another direction, but that direction doesn't exist within its space. The question sounds meaningful, but it cannot be answered from within that system. You are in a similar position. You are trying to imagine something beyond all space, using ideas that only work within space, and that creates an illusion of possibility where none may exist. This is why the question feels so compelling. It tricks you into thinking there must be an answer, when in reality, the problem may lie in how the question is framed. You're not just asking what is outside. You're assuming that outside must exist, and that assumption may be wrong. Even the idea of a boundary becomes questionable. If space itself can curve, loop, or connect back onto itself, then there may be no edge to define an outside in the first place. Without an edge, there is nothing to step beyond, no transition point where inside becomes outside. This forces you to rethink something deeper. Maybe the universe is not surrounded by anything. Maybe it doesn't need to be, because the moment you try to place it inside something else, you've already expanded the definition of the universe to include that something else. It's a loop you can't escape. Whatever you imagine becomes part of the whole. So the question keeps dissolving as you examine it, not because it's too complex, but because it may be built on a false assumption. And once you begin to see that, a new question emerges, one that is far more difficult to ignore. If the idea of outside is just a limitation of human thinking, then what does physics actually say about it? What physics actually says about outside the universe? Once you let go of the idea that the universe must have an outside, physics starts to approach the question very differently. It doesn't try to imagine what lies beyond everything. Instead, it asks a more careful question. What can actually be observed, measured, and described from within the universe itself? And the answer is surprisingly limited. Everything we know about the universe comes from light reaching us. Every galaxy, every star, every signal, if it hasn't had time to reach us, it's effectively invisible. This creates a boundary called the observable universe. It's not an edge in space, but a limit of what we can see. Beyond that limit, there may be more universe, possibly much more. But here's the key point. Even if there is more beyond what we can observe, it is still part of the same universe. It's not an outside. It's just more of the same structure, extending beyond our reach. This already weakens the idea of an external boundary. But physics goes further. As the universe expands, distant galaxies move away from us faster and faster. Eventually, some move so quickly that their light will never reach us at all. They don't disappear from reality. They simply become forever unobservable. The universe, in that sense, is larger than anything we can ever interact with. So when you imagine stepping outside the universe to look back at it, you're imagining a perspective that physics does not allow. There is no external vantage point. All descriptions of the universe must come from within it. There is no place outside from which you could observe it as a whole. This isn't a limitation of technology. It's built into the structure of reality. Still, some theories attempt to go further. You may have heard of the idea of a multiverse, the possibility that our universe is just one of many, each with its own laws and structure. In some models, these universes exist like separate regions, disconnected from each other. In others, they may arise from quantum processes or cosmic inflation. It sounds like this could provide an outside, but it doesn't quite solve the problem, because even if multiple universes exist, they don't necessarily sit inside a larger space in the way you imagine. The term outside still becomes unclear. Are these universes embedded in something, or are they simply different regions of a deeper reality we don't yet understand? Physics doesn't give a definitive answer. Instead, it highlights the limits of what can be meaningfully described. If something cannot be observed, interacted with, or defined within a consistent framework, then asking about it may not lead to a useful answer. This is where the influence of Richard Feynman becomes important. He emphasized that good questions in physics are not just imaginative, they are precise. They are grounded in what can be tested and understood. And sometimes the most honest answer is not a detailed explanation, but a recognition that the question itself may not be well formed. So when physics looks at the idea of outside the universe, it doesn't try to describe some hidden region beyond everything. It asks whether that idea even has meaning. And more often than not, the answer is no. Because without a boundary, without a measurable distinction, and without a way to observe or define it, the concept of an outside may simply not exist within the framework of reality. But that doesn't make the question useless. It makes it transformative. Because it forces you to confront something deeper, not about the universe, but about how you think. And that leads to the final realization, the one that changes everything you thought this question was asking. The real answer, why the question changes everything at this point, the question you started with, what is outside the universe, no longer feels simple. It feels unstable, almost as if it collapses the moment you try to hold on to it. And that's exactly the point, because the real answer isn't a place, it's a realization. You've been trying to apply a familiar pattern to something that doesn't follow it. You expected the universe to behave like everything else you've experienced, an object inside a larger space. But what you discovered instead is that the universe is not inside anything. It doesn't sit somewhere. It is the somewhere. That changes everything. It means there may be no external perspective, no hidden vantage point where you can step outside and look back. The idea itself becomes meaningless, not because the universe is too big to escape, but because escape doesn't apply in the first place. And that leads to a deeper insight. Some questions feel meaningful, not because they are correct, but because they match how your brain expects reality to work. When those expectations fail, the question doesn't get answered. It dissolves. You wanted to know what lies beyond everything. But the moment you understand that everything already includes all space, all directions, all possible locations, the idea of beyond loses its foundation. There is no step outside. There is no edge waiting to be crossed. There is no place where the universe ends and something else begins, at least not in any way that physics can describe. And yet, this doesn't make the universe smaller. It makes it stranger. Because instead of being a thing inside something bigger, the universe becomes the totality of all structure, all distance, all existence, not surrounded, not contained, just complete. That's difficult to accept. Your intuition keeps searching for more, something beyond, something hidden just out of reach. But every attempt leads back to the same conclusion. The concept of outside may simply not belong here. And that realization does something unexpected. It shifts your focus. Instead of asking what lies beyond the universe, you begin to ask what the universe actually is, not where it sits, but how it exists. Not what surrounds it, but what defines it. Because the real mystery was never about an outside. It was about the limits of your understanding. And once you see that, the question stops being frustrating. It becomes revealing. It shows you that reality doesn't have to match your expectations, that some ideas feel natural only because of how you experience the world, not because they are fundamentally true. And in that sense, the answer is more shocking than any hidden dimension or unseen realm. There is no outside, not because we haven't found it, but because the universe may not need one at all. And if that's true, then the real boundary isn't out there somewhere in space. It's in the way you think about space itself.